From this moment forward, you are standing at a threshold. There are two paths laid before you, one that keeps you stuck in patterns of limitation, exhaustion, and invisible struggle, and another that leads you into energetic clarity, spiritual strength, and unlimited potential. You may think this is an exaggeration, but what you're about to learn is not philosophy. It's a code real, practical, and powerful. In the next few minutes, I will reveal the only energetic law that governs every outcome in your life. It's not complicated. In fact, it's stunningly simple, but it's been ignored, hidden, or wrapped in mysticism for too long. This is not about religion or New Age fluff. This is about vibration. And when you understand it, when you learn how to command your own frequency, everything changes. Your health, your finances, your emotions, your reality. So before we begin, I'll ask you a question. A serious one. Are you ready to finally stop reacting to life and start designing it from the inside out? Because once this code is revealed, you can never pretend you didn't hear it. You can never unsee what you're about to see. This is your initiation into a deeper awareness of how energy works and how you've been using it without even knowing. Now take a breath. Center yourself and prepare to discover what everything in your life has been pointing toward all along. Everything vibrates. And vibration is the beginning of all creation. Everything is vibration. Everything in the universe is vibration. This is not a metaphor. It is a measurable, observable, undeniable truth. Nikola Tesla, one of the most brilliant minds in modern history, once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Tesla did not speak in vague theories. He understood that the very foundation of physical matter is not solid, but energetic. Everything you see, touch, and feel is vibrating at all times at specific frequencies. Even the thoughts in your mind, the emotions in your chest, the desires you carry deep within you, they are not invisible ghosts. They are real energetic patterns vibrating within your field. The great mystic Neville Goddard took this idea further. He taught that consciousness is not just part of reality, it is the source of it. He said that the outer world is nothing but a reflection of our inner vibration. According to Neville, your world is not happening to you. It is happening through you. Like a projector casting light onto a screen, your consciousness is emitting a vibration, and the universe is responding with a mirror image. Not symbolically, but literally. This is why two people can walk through the same city, experience the same events, and live entirely different realities. Because they are not seeing the world as it is, they are seeing it as they are. Their vibration shapes their perception, their outcomes, and their lives. What most people don't realize is that they are constantly vibrating whether they know it or not. Your dominant thoughts, your repetitive emotions, your deep beliefs, all of them are frequencies. And the longer you hold them, the stronger they become. If you hold fear, you tune into more fear. If you dwell in lack, the world reflects back more lack. Not because life is cruel, but because it is precise. This is not punishment. This is law. Think about a radio station. You cannot tune into jazz if you're vibrating at rock. You can't receive a signal of abundance if you're constantly radiating fear of losing money. You don't get what you want you are aligned with. This is the secret most people miss. Vibration is not something you chase. It's something you become. You don't attract love by begging the universe for it. You attract love by vibrating love. You don't manifest peace by escaping the noise. You manifest peace by becoming a quiet frequency within. Neville Goddard emphasized the importance of living in the end. That means vibrating as if your desire has already been fulfilled. Not hoping, not wishing, but knowing, feeling, becoming. He wasn't teaching imagination for entertainment. He was giving us the access point to a higher energetic state, one that reprograms the field. Tesla understood this too. Though he approached it from science and Neville from spirit, both saw the same truth. The world is vibration. Energy is the blueprint. And when you change the frequency, the form must follow. The universe doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your vibe, to the feeling behind the words, to the state of being you live in day after day. The irony is, most people are desperate to change the world outside while completely ignoring the frequency they're sending from the inside. They beg the world to change while refusing to change themselves. That is why nothing moves. But when you begin to see your vibration as the first cause, when you begin to align your thoughts, emotions and intentions with the reality you desire, you step into the role of creator. Not passively hoping, but actively generating. And from that moment forward, life no longer happens to you, it happens through you. The code behind energy, how to feel it, use it, and shift it. You've probably heard people say, raise your frequency or stay in a high vibe, but what does that actually mean? How do you feel your energy? How do you consciously use it? How do you shift it when you're stuck in fear, doubt, or exhaustion? The truth is, most people are walking through life completely disconnected from their own energetic field. They know when they feel bad or off, but they don't know how to trace that feeling back to its frequency. They don't know how to read the code behind the emotion. Everything you feel has an energetic signature. Gratitude is light. It expands. Fear is heavy. It contracts. Joy radiates. Shame pulls inward. You are not just reacting to life. You are constantly sending signals into the energetic field. Most people do it unconsciously. But once you become aware of it, you can begin to direct it. And that is where everything changes. To feel your energy is to become quiet enough to notice your inner state, not just your thoughts, but your body, your breath, your emotions. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, what does my energy feel like right now? You'll begin to sense tension, spaciousness, contraction, warmth. This awareness is your entry point. Because the moment you become aware of your frequency, you are no longer just the one feeling it, you are the one observing it. And the observer can make a choice. Neville Goddard taught that the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the secret. Not the words, not the technique, the feeling. When you feel as if your desire is already yours, you override the lower signals of fear and doubt. You send a new frequency into the field. And because reality is vibrational, that frequency must be matched. This is not a trick. It's not magic. It's law. Let's go deeper. Your energy responds to focus. Whatever you give your attention to expands in frequency. If you focus on what's wrong, your field contracts. If you focus on possibility, it opens. But this is not about fake positivity. It's about real alignment. You can't lie to your frequency. You can't pretend to feel abundant while secretly vibrating desperation. The universe doesn't respond to surface, it responds to signal. So the work is not to fake a better energy. It's to become it. One way to shift your energy instantly is through breath and imagination. Slow, conscious breathing regulates your nervous system, clears static, and grounds your field. And imagination used with intention can create a new internal state in seconds. Imagine yourself in the place you dream of. Feel the air, see the colors, hear the sounds, and most importantly, feel the emotional signature of that reality. That feeling is the signal. That is what changes everything. Tesla believed that the universe is a frequency-based system, and if we could understand its patterns, we could alter reality. Neville believed that imagination and feeling are the divine tools to do exactly that. When you combine both science and spirit, you realize your energetic state is not just a side effect. It is the cause. And here's the truth no one tells you. Your energy doesn't lie. You can say the right affirmations, post the right quotes, act spiritual, but if your field is full of fear, resentment, or doubt, that's what the universe will echo. Not to punish you, but to reflect you. That's how precise this system is. But here's the beauty. Energy is fluid. It can be shifted in a moment. And once you learn to feel it, you gain access to your most powerful tool, not outside, but within. From that place, manifestation becomes natural. Alignment becomes easy, and you stop chasing energy, because you are energy. Why most people never access high? If everything is energy, and high frequencies hold the key to expansion. Why do most people live stuck in low vibrational loops repeating the same emotions, patterns, and outcomes? Why is peace so rare, joy so fleeting, and abundance so difficult to sustain? The answer is simple, but not easy, because most people have been trained away from their natural energetic state. From the time you were a child, you were taught to ignore your internal signals. You were told to sit still when your body wanted to move, to be quiet when your voice wanted to express, to comply when your intuition screamed, no. That training layered over years of conditioning didn't just shape your personality. It disrupted your frequency. It taught you to prioritize approval over alignment, logic over feeling, survival over truth. And so the body adapted. It tensed. It shut down certain circuits. It froze certain desires. And now, years later, many live in energetic survival mode on edge, drained, restless, without even realizing it. This is not a defect, it's a defense. But that same defense is what blocks access to high frequencies. You cannot access joy when your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight. You cannot feel connected to source when your mind is trapped in anxiety. You cannot hear divine guidance when your inner world is full of noise. This is why most spiritual advice fails, because it bypasses the body. It tells people to just raise your vibe without helping them understand why their energy is low to begin with. Let's be honest, you can't meditate your way out of trauma. You can't affirm your way out of a dysregulated system. To rise in frequency, you must first create energetic safety. And that means facing the very things you were taught to avoid. Shame, grief, rage, fear. These emotions are not enemies. They are energy and motion signals that something within needs attention. When you suppress them, they don't disappear. They sink into the subconscious, creating low-frequency fields that echo through your relationships, your finances, your health. And the longer you avoid them, the louder they become. The way out is not to escape them. It's to feel them fully, without judgment. This is what Carl Jung meant when he said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." Until you integrate your lower frequencies, they will block your higher ones. Not as punishment, but as protection. So how do you break free? First, you must become radically honest about where you are. Stop pretending. Stop performing. Look at your life as data. How do you feel when you wake up? What thoughts dominate your mind? What patterns keep repeating? These are your signals, not your failures, your feedback. Then begin to move. Energy cannot shift if it is stuck. Shake, dance, breathe, scream into a pillow, write down your rage, cry without apology. Let the body express what the mind cannot process. This isn't chaos, it's clearing. And once the density begins to move, something incredible happens. Your natural frequency begins to rise. Peace isn't something you have to create. It's what remains when resistance is released. Joy isn't something you chase. It's what surfaces when pain is processed. You were born with access to the highest vibrations of the universe. You just forgot how to feel them. But now you remember. And once you do, you'll realize the truth. High frequency is not a performance. It's not about pretending to be spiritual. It's about being real, raw, alive, aware. And from that place, you begin to live differently. You begin to attract differently. Not because you've learned a trick, but because you've become a new signal, a new energy, a new mirror of truth. The physics of manifestation, frequency, focus, and the field. Manifestation is not magic. It is not luck, wishful thinking, or blind optimism. It is a natural consequence of energy aligning with intention. When understood correctly, manifestation becomes less of a mystery and more of a precise equation, one based on frequency, focus, and the energetic field that surrounds us. At the core of this process is a simple truth. Your frequency attracts experiences that match it. This is not spiritual poetry, it's quantum reality. Every thought you think, every feeling you hold, every belief you carry emits a measurable signal. That signal communicates with the field, the unified intelligence that connects all things. And the field responds with circumstances that mirror your energetic signature. Think of the field as a vast ocean of potential. Within it exist infinite timelines, infinite outcomes, infinite versions of your life. The one you experience depends entirely on the signal you send. Most people operate like static on a radio, scattered, inconsistent, unaware. They want abundance but focus on lack. They desire love but broadcast fear. They long for peace but replay chaos. And then they wonder why their reality never changes. Here's the truth. The universe is not listening to your words, it is reading your energy. You can say affirmations all day, but if your body vibrates with doubt, the field responds to doubt. You can make vision boards, light candles, visualize goals, but if your subconscious is still rooted in limitation, your signal remains the same. This is where focus becomes your most valuable tool. Because what you focus on, you amplify. Focus is a magnifier, it charges the field with specific data. The more emotion you add, the stronger the imprint, and over time, that imprint shapes matter. Let's be clear, manifestation is not about controlling outcomes. It's about aligning your frequency so precisely that the right outcomes find you naturally, effortlessly. in harmony with your being. This is what Neville Goddard meant when he said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled." He wasn't asking you to pretend. He was instructing you to generate the signal now, as if it were already real. Because in the quantum field, there is no future. There is only now, and your signal determines what now becomes. But how do you shift that signal when life feels hard, when bills are due, when heartbreak lingers, when fear dominates? The answer lies in the bridge between emotion and attention. You must feel the emotion of the reality you desire before it exists. You must inhabit the frequency of what is not yet seen. And that takes discipline, not forced effort, but focused being. It starts with choosing new thoughts gently, consistently. Thoughts that reflect the version of you who already has what you seek. Then you reinforce those thoughts with feeling gratitude, certainty, peace. Even if it feels small, even if it only lasts seconds, that moment becomes a ripple. And ripples build waves. The field is always listening, not to what you say, but to what you are. So if you want to attract something new, you must become someone new. This is not performance. This is presence. Real transformation is not about getting, it's about tuning. And when you are tuned, manifestation is not effort, it's resonance. Reality bends to the signal of the clear, aligned soul. Not because of force, but because of coherence. The more coherent your inner world becomes, the more magnetic your outer world responds. It's not personal, it's physics. And once you understand that, you don't chase outcomes. You shift frequency, and then the outcomes chase you. Becoming the frequency, how to embody energy and stay aligned, knowing that everything is frequency is one thing. Becoming that frequency is another. The first is intellectual understanding. The second is embodied transformation. And this is where most people fall short, not because they lack the desire, but because they haven't been taught how to live as energy in motion. They treat vibration as a concept, not a state of being. But energy is not something you visit. It's something you become. Your dominant state, your daily emotions, your inner narrative, your breath, your posture, everything is either reinforcing alignment or fracturing it. And so the work becomes one of embodiment. Moment by moment, choosing the version of yourself that aligns with the life you say you want. This is where awareness meets discipline. Not rigid control, but devoted presence. You must begin by observing what you consistently emit. What energy are you broadcasting in the silence of your thoughts? In the way you speak to yourself? In how you react to the world? Is your signal one of faith or fear, trust or tension? Power or victimhood? To shift your frequency, you don't have to fake happiness or ignore pain. But you must learn to navigate both with conscious energy. You acknowledge the emotion, but you don't let it become your identity. You feel it, but you don't feed it. This is emotional alchemy, and it's how energy shifts from chaos to coherence. One of the most powerful practices to embody energy is state rehearsal. Each morning, before the world interrupts, take 5 minutes to become the future version of yourself. Not as fantasy, but as felt reality. Walk as that person. Breathe as that person. Speak, think, sit, move as that version of you. Let your body memorize that frequency. The body learns by repetition. And when your nervous system normalizes success, confidence, peace, it begins to emit that signal without resistance. Another practice is breath anchoring. Your breath is your remote control. It regulates your frequency more than any external tool. Shallow, rapid breath is survival energy. Slow, grounded breath is creation energy. So when you feel off track, don't reach for escape. Return to the breath. Breathe into the version of you that knows everything is unfolding in divine timing. That simple act realigns your frequency with trust. Environment also matters. Frequencies are contagious. The people, spaces, sounds, and images you allow into your field either raise your vibration or drain it. You must become selective, not out of fear, but out of sacred responsibility. Protect your field like you would your home, because it is your home. And not everyone should have access. Remember, you don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You don't need to live in constant high vibration bliss. That's not embodiment, that's avoidance. What you need is consistency. A quiet, grounded return to who you are beneath the noise. Over and over again, this is how you stay aligned. Not by controlling every thought, but by choosing your state. Not by chasing high energy, but by becoming stable energy. And when your energy stabilizes, your reality stabilizes. When you live as the frequency, life mirrors that signal. Opportunities unfold. Synchronicities appear. Resistance dissolves. Not because you forced change, but because you became change. Neville Goddard once said, "You are already that which you want to be." The work is to accept it, embody it, and radiate it. Not someday, not when conditions improve, but now, right here, in the body, in the moment, in the breath, because this is the only place manifestation begins and the only place it ever truly lives. The new identity, your role in the field of infinite possibility. You are not just a participant in this energetic universe. You are a co-creator. This is the awakening that shifts everything. The moment you stop waiting for change and start becoming the vessel through which change occurs. And it begins with identity. Your identity is not fixed. It's a living signal. A composite of your beliefs, your focus, your imagination, and your choices. Most people unknowingly reinforce the version of themselves that aligns with their past pain, limitations, or inherited narratives. They become faithful to the self that was shaped by fear instead of truth. But identity is fluid. And at any given moment, you can recast yourself in this simulation. Neville Goddard taught that the only way to truly change your life is to change the concept you hold of yourself. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are, and what you are is determined by what you believe you are. So let me ask you, who are you choosing to be energetically? Are you choosing the frequency of lack or abundance, victimhood or authorship, control or trust, fear or faith? It's not enough to understand energy intellectually. You must embody the identity that carries the frequency of your desired reality, because that frequency already exists in the quantum field. Your job is to become its energetic match. Every time you act, speak, or think from the perspective of the old self, you reinforce a reality that no longer serves you. But every time you make a bold decision aligned with the version of you who is free, powerful, and divinely guided, you collapse timelines. You pull the future into the present. You enter the field of infinite possibility, not by waiting, but by walking into it. This is why your imagination is sacred. Not childish, sacred. It is the bridge between spirit and form, between potential and reality. When you imagine something with conviction, you impress it upon your subconscious, and your subconscious communicates directly with the field. Neville called it the inner conversation. What are you saying in yours? Stop rehearsing powerlessness. Stop scripting pain. Begin scripting possibility. Visualize yourself not just achieving a goal, but being the person who lives inside that goal naturally. Feel what it's like to wake up in that reality, to breathe in that peace, to carry yourself as one who is no longer waiting, but already receiving. This is not delusion. It's divine participation in the creative process of the universe. Tesla once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." He wasn't talking theory, he was giving you the map. And Neville Goddard gave you the key. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you merge these two truths, science and spirit, you unlock a power that cannot be taken from you. Because it doesn't depend on circumstances. It doesn't rely on validation. It flows from identity, and now you stand at the edge of that decision. Will you return to the frequency of your old self? Or will you step forward and become the vibration of the life you know is waiting for you? You don't need permission. You need embodiment. You don't need more knowledge. You need more alignment. You don't need to wait. You need to decide. So close your eyes, breathe, and choose your frequency on purpose, with presence and with power. Because when you do, reality has no choice but to respond, not as a reward, but as a reflection. Because that's how the code was written all along. And now, you know how to use it. If this message resonated with you, subscribe now to stay connected with the energy that awakens you. Like this video to anchor this frequency in your field. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a transmission that your spirit needs. And comment below, "I am the frequency." Let the universe hear your voice. You're not here by chance. You're here to rise and remember who you truly are.